Hey everyone, Nick here. A couple weeks ago, I posted this really fun column chart makeover, and a friend over on LinkedIn, Jeff Burrow, you said in the comments, oh, I can't wait to see how you made that horizontal or that x-axis the way you did it. And it was kind of a bait and switch because it was in PowerPoint and it was sort of brute force. I just made it with PowerPoint shapes and a text box, but there certainly is a way to embed this into a chart so that it's all in one if you wanted to make these over. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna delete this. This is one way that I thought to do it, and I think as soon as I start doing it, I know that you are a data wizard, and I know you're gonna know exactly how to do this. So what we're gonna do first is I wanna activate the y-axis because I want you to be able to see those values. So I'm gonna go ahead and say vertical axis there, and then let's just turn those red so that we can see them nice and easy. You can see my axis is set to 0 to 100%. And now what we need to do is we need to add a helper series or a helper column of data to the data source behind the scenes. So what we're gonna do is right-click the chart, and I'm going to say edit in Excel, edit data in Excel right here. And the data source window will pop up. And let me see if I can just drag this over to my other screen. Oh my gosh, my mouse is being a little funny today. Okay. So here's my data right here in the series, and then these are my signs 1 through 14 that I have in my chart. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another column over here. I'll just call it axis label. It doesn't really matter what you call it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this into a value that is a negative value. So depending on what your y-axis value is, you're going to have to just sort of eyeball this and maybe do some trial and error. But I think I'm going to do negative 15%. And then I'm just going to drag that down the entire row. So the entire column is 15%. Now I'm going to close out of the data source, and you can see what happened. It added that extra column of data. It's a clustered column chart. So it added this column of data to my chart. And I know that I don't want it to be a column chart. I want this to be something different. So I'm going to go to the chart design tab right here on the ribbon, go to change chart type, and we're going to make this a combo chart. So it's already set to combo there. Series 1 is going to be my clustered column. Those are the columns that I want to show. The axis label though, I'm going to switch to line and marker. And now you can see in the preview window, you can see what this is looking like, and you know exactly where I'm going here. So I'm going to click OK there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert one shape for the shape that I want on that axis label. It's going to be that rectangle with rounded corners. And let's just go ahead and make it, I want to make it an exact sort of 1 by 1 dimension. So 0.5 and 0.5 up here in the dimension box. Now we're going to format this to how I like it. So I'm going to go say no fill. The line, I want it to be this dark gray color, and that's all that I'm looking for there. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to push Control-C to copy it to my clipboard, and then I'm going to go to my helper series data, make sure that you highlight all of the markers, and just push Control-V. We're going to paste it right into those data markers on the series. Now we don't want the line, so with that Format Data Series menu still open, we're going to go to the Paint bucket. We're going to say no line, and now we have our beautiful little stylized axis. Now, the y-axis I think can be updated just a little bit. We don't need to be all the way down to 40%, so I'm going to open that format axis pane. Let's just do negative 20% and see what that looks like, and then I'm going to make sure that the top is still 100%, and that looks really nice. From there, we can delete that y-axis, push backspace. I don't need it anymore. Now, of course, we need the value, so I'm going to right-click and say Add Data Labels, but that's going to give us our data labels. They're going to give us the data values from the helper series that we added. So what I want to do is with the Format Data Label menu open, I'm going to select unselect value, and I'm going to select this box that says value from cells. Now the data source window pops up and asks, where do you want me to pull the data values from? So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the column where I have the values that I want it to update for my labels. Say OK, and now you can see we have the 1 through 14 right here. If you had text for those labels, you could add that too. Just do that value from cells and you'll be golden. So then we'll go ahead and update this to black and bold, and I'm gonna maybe make this 18 points, see if it's nice and big. And then you can just kind of format the chart how you like it on your slide. Now I did have, in my example, I had this axis label here with sign number, and it's just a text box. You could put a text box there if you wanted to, or you could go ahead, I'm going to delete this, you could go ahead and activate the axis title as part of the chart. So again, I'm going to go to my Skittle, I'm going to say axis titles right here, and then I'm going to say my horizontal axis title, and you can see this axis title is right here. Now you can move this axis title around anywhere you want want to in that chart area, I'm going to go ahead and just double click inside to update the text. It's going to say sign number, and then I will double click the whole thing to select it, black, nice and bold, and maybe put this to 22-point font. Now it looks nice, I think, underneath like this, or if you wanted to move it to the side, you could. And what I'm going to do is just kind of eyeball it right there, and then I'm going to work with my plot area so that the sort of square inside the chart, and I can go ahead and just drag this in to make that a little bit smaller to give me some space for my sign, my axis label right there. And I'm going to move the chart area over there. Hey, I think that looks pretty snazzy, a pretty nice approach to sort of embedding this axis into the chart. It might not be worth the squeeze for everything, but it is fun to learn these little tricks, these little hacks and workarounds and things like that. So I hope you liked it, Jeff. Everyone else out there, I hope you liked this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up and make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it. You'll be notified every time I post a new video in data design, usually PowerPoint, Excel, or Word. I had a great time making this for you, and I can't wait to see you all next time.